Hello everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome back to Clues by Sam. I hope you guys are doing good. We are playing a brutal one today. So from 0 to 100 in one day. Let's see if it's actually brutal though. But I tend to believe that Sam has been like labeling the puzzles a little bit differently. I feel like the harder ones are actually becoming harder than hard in label. So I do tend to believe as well that this one is going to be an actually hard one, which doesn't make me scared, but maybe that's an issue. Let's see if I do get a perfect one. And if you're new here, this is a daily puzzle and you shouldn't start with the hardest one. You can scroll down the page that you click the link in the description to go to. And right here we have all of the puzzles from this week from Monday, and Monday was a very easy one, and you can play all of them one by one until you get to the hardest difficulty. And I'm gonna be explaining the solve as I solve, so if you need any help them, hopefully I can help you with the logic. Let's see how this one goes. We start with Hall telling us that Zola is one of 10 criminals on the edges. So right off the bat, we have a lot of criminals on the edges. There's 14 people around the board on the edges, and only 4 of them are going to be innocent. So it's important to keep that in mind. And Zola now says that 2 of the 3 criminals in row 4 are Kay's neighbors. So we double click the clue here. We see that Kay is in row 3, and they have 3 people in row 4 neighboring them. So 2 of them, 2 of the 3 people neighboring Kay here are going to be criminals, which makes 1 more criminal of the total 3 that neighbor K not be in row 4. So John, Eric, Frida, and Larry, all of them have 1 criminal among them. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? 2 of the 3 criminals in row 4 is not people neighboring K. So I misinterpreted the clue. So 2 of the 3 criminals in row 4. Row 4 has 4 people total, and there's 3 people here who are criminals. But 2 of those 3 people neighbor K. Since K has 3 of them neighboring them in row 4, and 2 of them are going to be criminals, let's say that those 2 criminals are Saga and Olivia, which would make Kita an innocent. In any case, it doesn't matter the configuration here. What happens is that our 3rd criminal in row 4 has to be Uma, the only one who's not neighboring K here. So I hope that made sense, and I avoided, I removed the confusion I brought up with trying to make K our thing here. And it wasn't them we were supposed to be looking at. Now, Uma says that John and Vince have only 1 instant neighbor in common. So we double click to see John and Vince pop up here in column A. They have 2 people in common neighboring them, Olivia and Kita, and only one of those 2 is going to be an innocent. So we tag them with the same color to indicate that they are opposites. And even though we don't know who is the innocent yet, we know that whomever it is, the other one is going to become a criminal when we review them. And that makes Saga have to be the other criminal neighboring K here in row 4, right? So we don't need Uma's clue now because we have tagged Olivia and Kita, so we click on it to dismiss it. Saga then says that 1 of the 3 criminals neighboring John is in row 2. So John has 5 neighbors. Now we are looking at a total for someone. So now we know that John has 3 criminals neighboring him total and 5 neighbors. So 1 of those criminals is right here. The other one is gonna be, the other 2 are gonna be, let's say, one of them is in row 2. So the people in row 2, both of the people in row 2 neighboring John, I'm all over the place today, interesting. So there's 2 people neighboring John here. It's important to read the clues so you can understand them and not jump to conclusions. So, two people neighboring John in row 2, only one of them is going to be a criminal. Two people neighboring John in row 4, only one of them is going to be a criminal. So, who's the third criminal for John? It has to be K, right? The only other neighbor that K has. Oh, that John has. K then says that row 2 is the only row with exactly 3 incense. I can also tag John and Larry here. No. No, 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 no. No. I gotta forget that. I don't know. I gotta remember that I don't know K's total and forget what I did with the whole thing about 3 criminals neighboring K when Zola gave us a clue. So back again to K. Row 2 is the only row with 3 incense. So we know about 2 of them currently. We have Hall and the second one in this pair here. So the third has to be Isaac, just like Umam, but opposite in terms of role. And now Isaac says that John is one of Kita's 3 incense neighbors. So now we double click and we see Kita has 8 neighbors total, 3 of which are incense. John is one of the incense. So you have 2 more. Oh, I gotta leave I gotta leave K's clue here because it tells us information about the other rows other than row 2. Okay, this is one of our 4 incense on the edges. And we can't have both Larry and Martin be incense. That's one thing. Oh, Isaac is the second incense on the edge. Huh. Huh. So let me go back. I feel like I have a headache. Like, I'm not feeling the headache, but I feel like I'm gonna get one. I do suffer from migraine, so it may be one of those days. So row 2 is the only row with 3 incense, which lets us know that row 3 can have both Larry and Martin have be incense, both of them. 10 criminals on the edges, which gives us 4 incense. Kita has 3 incense neighbors, so 2 more. Can we make one thing is at least one of those 2 is gonna have to be on the edge, right? John is one of Kita's 3 incense neighbors. Kita needs 2 more incense neighbors and at least one of them is gonna have to be on the edge. Maybe we try to make Hmm. I'm trying to see how this would go. If I put 2 people here on the edge neighboring Kita who are incense, we get no more incense on the edges, so everybody else on the edge becomes a criminal. That's fine. Fine by me. And it almost solves the puzzle, right? So I'm sure that's not it, but I'm trying to look at what would be the issue if we did that. Because it seems there isn't any. would there be an issue if we made Larry an innocent? If we make Larry an innocent, then surely there's only one innocent neighboring Kita here on the edge. And it could be Olivia. I don't see why it couldn't. So I'm not really sure where to look at. I'm gonna have to go through the clues again. We know that row 2 is the only row with 3 innocents. That's okay. I'm guessing. I shouldn't guess. The game's entire purpose is not to guess, so I shouldn't guess. But I'm guessing Martin can't be an innocent. If I make Martin an innocent, then there's no way for Kita to have her 2 innocents be on the edge. And because there's only one more innocent that could go on the edge, right? Since Martin is the 3rd one and we know there's 4. So making Martin an innocent makes it so that Kita can only have 1 innocent on the edge. And that forces Larry to be an innocent so that Kita can have her 3. In that scenario, row 3 has 3 innocents. And we know from K that row 2 is the only row with 3 innocents. So no, Martin couldn't be an innocent. I hope that was fine to understand. Martin gives us a new clue. There are 4 criminals in column B. So only 1 innocent in column B. How does that help me? If I make both Frida and Kita criminals, I mean, let's try to not do that. Let's try to make Kita an innocent. If she's an innocent, everybody else in column B has to be a criminal. Double checking, they were talking about column B, this column right here, 2nd column. That would make it so there's too many innocents on the edges, because Frida here becomes a criminal since Kita is the only innocent in column B and Frida is also in column B. Frida becomes a criminal, which makes Eric an innocent. Now, Kita still needs 2 innocents. So both Benz and Larry would have to be innocents. Oh yeah, but now we have our 4 innocents on the edges and that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody else has to be a criminal, but it's okay. What if I make Frida an innocent though? Then everybody else has to be a criminal in column B. And Kita becoming a criminal makes Olivia an innocent. Now what? I guess Wanda could never be an innocent, could she? Because if Wanda is an innocent, again, I said I'm guessing, but it is a guessing game. You just have to prove that you have to prove that your guess is not applicable or applicable, you know? So you can guess, but you have to confirm that your guess is good before you act on it. So let's make Wanda an innocent and see what happens. Then everybody else in column B becomes a criminal. Kita makes Olivia an innocent and Frida makes Eric an innocent. And now we do have too many innocents on the edges because we have Isaac and John as 2 and 3 more we just made from Wanda becoming an innocent. So Wanda has to actually be a criminal. And she gives us a new clue. Daniel is the only one with exactly 1 criminal neighbor. So Daniel has to have 1 criminal neighbor. Currently, he doesn't have any, and there's only 1 neighbor left, Chase. So Chase becomes a criminal. And one is saying that Daniel is the only person in the whole board with 1 criminal neighbor. Who? currently has only one criminal neighbor? Nobody? I mean, Alex has one in this pair here, so that means that Alex has to have a second one. So Betsy becomes the second one. Chase then says that one of the two criminals in column A is Eric's neighbor. Chase? Oh. Only one of the two criminals in column A is Eric's neighbor. Column A, there's two people in column A neighboring Eric. Only one of them is gonna be a criminal, and for sure it's not John, because John is already an innocent, so Alex becomes a criminal. There's two criminals total in column A. So either Eric or Olivia are gonna be that criminal, because Frida and Kita are opposites here. So it doesn't matter who of them becomes an innocent, but whomever it is, it's gonna make the other person in column A neighboring them an innocent. Oh, a criminal, sorry. So that's our second criminal there, which makes Vince an innocent. And we don't need Chase's clue anymore. Now. I don't need Zola's clue anymore. Do I need Kita's? I know that Olivia and Larry are opposites. I could tag them. Ben says there's an equal number of criminals in columns B and C. Criminals are talking 4. There's 4 in column B, which means there has to be 4 in column C. That makes Larry a criminal. So we know now that Olivia is becoming an innocent, which makes Kita a criminal, which makes Frida an innocent, which makes Eric a criminal. So that's a good chain there that didn't end the puzzle, at least yet. Vance gives us a clue. There's an equal number of criminals in columns. Oh, this is a clue that I've just read. Yeah, I don't think I'm good today. I think my brain is not braining. At least I didn't get any yellows yet. So I'm paying attention to my own reactions. And my own I'm paying attention to my own lack of attention. There are exactly 4 criminals in column B. We don't need that anymore. We're not at risk of we're not at risk of any columns or rows having 3 innocents. Nobody else has one criminal neighbor only, so I don't need one does. Oh yeah. Our 4 innocents on the edges are revealed, so we know that both Daniel and Zoe are criminals. Okay. Good. Yeah. That took me really long. I feel like I'm so tired today for some reason. And I'm probably gonna get that headache. So very interesting outcome. Very interesting. Like I had a lot of misreading of the clues. So, but in any case, I did get a perfect one, which makes me very proud of myself. Very, very interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if I helped you with any of the harder logic there. And also let me know if me misreading the clue and then correcting myself confuses you, because I bet it does. It can. Unless you've already understood the clue before I talked about it, and then you can see that I'm the wrong one. And in any case, if that happens, I'm so sorry. I'll try to do better. Most of the time I'm good at it, but there's always days like this. I hope you can forgive me. I hope you have a great start of the week. I'll see you tomorrow for more clues by Sam. Bye-bye.